Alright, what's going on, guys? My name is Mythic, and welcome to my Horizon Forbidden West review. Man, I've had my hands filled this month. Currently juggling Elden Ring right now. We'll have that out by next week. Sifu, it's been amazing, and finally, the Forbidden West review. But let's get right into it, because I know you guys want to hear my thoughts. I know you guys want to know if you should buy the game, if you should check it out, if it's even worth it, you know? Okay, so let me start with the story immediately. Let me try and go as slightly non-spoiler-ish as possible. I'm gonna try and duck all that. So basically, in a nutshell, this takes place 6 months after the events of Zero Dawn. Aloy is named the savior of Meridian after stopping Hades in the first game or whatever. So basically, there's a blight plaguing the Earth. The Earth will die in a certain amount of months. Extinction will become like non-preventable unless she manages to reboot Gaia, find subordinate functions to help Gaia and help reboot Gaia and stop enemies along the way. I don't want to spoil anything too much more than that, but she has to journey into the Forbidden West to find what she needs, because I feel like if I talk about anything more than that, diving into the story, it will spoil a lot for you guys, and I know a lot of people really do enjoy this story, and I'm going to tell you right now, from the voice acting to the story itself, the writing, I feel it's really good. It's amazing. It's got me gripped to the point where it's got that gorilla grip on me, to where I don't want to put the controller down, you know. And it's been a long time since I felt that way about a story-driven game, you know. I felt like last year was kind of hit and miss, you know, but this is good. This is what I've been waiting for. Guerrilla Games really did themselves with the story this time. They took a lot of things to heart. They took a lot of criticisms to heart, and I'll be bringing up some of the criticisms in the gameplay or whatever later on. But story-wise, you guys do not have to worry. When it goes to the voice acting, everything from Aloy down to the slightest side character has amazing, well-performed lines. You don't think they're just kind of talking like Dion Waiters in that one 2K22 cutscene. Everyone is putting on emotion here. There is like this new motion capture technology that they're using for their faces, and it really does help capture when they're talking and they're acting, and it really does bring that immersion to the game. You know, everything cannot be possible if the actors didn't give their 100% this, you know, with voice acting, or with how they're like just the motion capture in general, and that combining with the story just leads to a really immersive experience story-wise. So when we're jumping into the graphics, you know, graphics, crazy, insane. I think this is probably, so far, to me at least, this is the best looking game on the PlayStation 5 so far. You know, I haven't seen what God of War looks like or anything yet, but so far this is the best looking game on the PS5. Okay, and I'm playing even on, if you turn on performance mode and turn off fidelity mode or whatever, it still looks incredible. Okay, this game runs, I haven't run into anything, so now that we're talking into graphics, all right, so I'm gonna bring up that some people have run into bugs. Okay, some people run into either gameplay bugs, I can get into that later, but graphical issues, you know, like infinite loading screens or whatever. But my personal experience, I haven't run into any bugs. I haven't run into any game-breaking bugs, any graphical issues. I did run into, just at the beginning of the game, just some slight pop-in when Aloy was going through a cutscene where she was riding the mount and she was going to the Forbidden West or whatever, or to like the embassy. Just had some slight pop-in in the back. Sometimes my game will cut to black for like a split second, then come back. But that's it. That didn't really take away from my experience. It kind of broke me out of the immersion, but not enough for me to be like, okay, this is getting like Cyberpunk launch levels of bad. You know, it was day one, and Guerrilla Games isn't releasing a broken, trash, buggy ass product that I couldn't play. Okay, so I'm not gonna fault them too much on bugs I really didn't experience 99.9% of the time. Okay, but I do want to put it out there that I know some people have been experiencing graphical issues, but not in my own personal experience. It wasn't enough to hinder the score or anything. So graphical wise, game is beautiful. You guys know I'm playing this on the PlayStation 5, 4K, everything. It is amazing, down to Aloy's facial expressions. It looks so real when you go into photo mode and like you change the way she expresses. It's just like, it looks so real. And then you go into the environment itself, the lighting, the way the lighting hits rocks, the desert, the snow, the different environments. You have the beaches, the desert, the mountains, the jungle, a lot of different areas to explore, and it looks beautiful. It looks incredible. I'm telling you right now, the best looking game on the PS5 so far. Guerrilla Games outdid themselves, and they're constantly dropping. I think by now they've dropped 2 light patches to fix anything lingering, so I'm telling you, it just gets better. But graphical wise, you guys have nothing to worry about. It works. Honestly, I haven't experienced any drop in frame rates, except not constantly, but there was just one slight part that I went to. I can't remember. I went to a new area, and it wasn't loading in or anything. I was just getting some weird frame rate. It was like I was running at 20 to 25 frames per second, but then as soon as I closed the game, reloaded it, it fixed itself, and I haven't gotten an issue like that ever since. So that was kind of weird. It was a one-off issue, but that was the only kind of weird frame rate. Other than that, those like two really weird like issues pop in, and that I haven't experienced anything else. Again, like I said, nothing to hinder the overall score of the game or my experience of the game, but just letting it known to be out there. So going into the meat of the game, the gameplay. Okay, the gameplay. How do I like the gameplay? Is it a step up from Zero Dawn? It is an incredible step up to Zero Dawn. I'm happy to tell you all that and report that it is a sequel that is worth your time. It is worth your time to go out and play this game, to go out and pick up this game, to go out and just tell people about it, you know, because the gameplay, from stealth combat to the way Aloy fights her machines now, the way she seems more experienced, you know, it's been 6 months, but she seems like she really does have her head on her shoulders. So when I say the gameplay is improved from stealth to just normal combat in general, when you have stealth, before it was like, it wasn't really an option. You didn't have much things to do when it comes to the skill tree, when it comes to sneaking on machines, but now you have different ways to traverse the different scenarios that you approach. So you can either hide in the bushes like Zero Dawn, or you could go from above. So they have this new thing, it's like a grappling hook, and so Aloy can use that to grapple up to different areas, and then she can give herself a boost which will launch her into the air, and that will provide, either you could use your glider that you gain in the game, and you could use a strike from above. And there's a lot of different ways you can approach these things stealth wise and keep undetected, you know. And if you just want to run in guns blazing, you could do that as well, you know. And they have these new things called Valors or Valors, and it's pretty much like a super, like an ultimate pretty much. And then when you do that, depending on what you have equipped for your Valor, you could do a Stealth Valor, which will be like enemies are harder to detect you. You could do a Warrior Valor, which is like melee damage does a bunch more damage, or the Sharpshooter Valor, which is obviously for your bow and arrow, does more damage to machines, will take off more machine parts, etc. Like a lot of new ways to approach combat, and I'm really glad that they had a complete overhaul of what it feels like on melee combat, because I felt like melee combat in Zero Dawn was crap. It was just basically R1 button mashing. There wasn't a lot you can do, but now they introduced some good things with like a resonator blast. You keep hitting your enemy over and over and over until you charge up your spear, hit them with R2, and then there's like this blue circle that appears. You shoot that blue circle on the enemy and it blows them up. You can break blocks, you can do like tag together combos, R1, R2 for like heavy, light attack. So I do feel like the melee in itself has been a complete overhaul, which the only thing I don't like is that you can't like block. You can't press like L1 to block or parry or anything like that. I feel like if they included that, it would be just an even more step up if someone wanted to go melee only, because I feel like melee only is still a possibility, but not to the point where it's gonna be like a main choice. You know, you're sticking to your bow and arrow, and this is the core of the gameplay for combat wise. You know, you got your bow and arrow. They're bringing back the OG weapons, the OG warrior bow, sharp shot bow, all these different bows you can play with, the rope casters from Zero Dawn, but they have a bunch of new weapons too. They have this kind of javelin type weapon. You throw it, either it explodes on impact, explodes after a little delay. They have a bunch of new things. It's like a thunder blast, a thunder sling. I got that from like pre-ordering the game. So a lot of new weapons for Aloy to play with, and then you could take these weapons and take the armor that you have too, and you could go to crafting benches. And now the crafting is different in this game than it was before. You have tiers for the weapon and armor now. You have tier 1, 2, 3, 4, and the more you upgrade it, you unlock different slots for it, different weapon bonus damages for it, things like that. So you have to go out and actually again, I do appreciate this because it gives the open world more life. You can go hunt animals and use these hunting equipment to upgrade your weapons, or like just like hold more arrows or something like that. But I do appreciate this where you can upgrade tiers, so it doesn't feel like you just bought a weapon and then that's done with it. You can constantly keep upgrading that. Like, I still have my first bow from the beginning of the game and I'm already like level 23, 24, but because I've upgraded it, it's become good. It's come along with me, you know? I don't have to just buy a new bow every time. So combat is really fun and engaging. You know, they had a complete overhaul on combat, I feel like, with the familiar sense to Zero Dawn 2. You can still use Aloy's focus to scan the machines, find weak points, but now you can tag those weak points. You can see what you want to attack, what you want to focus on. If you need those components that you're tagging for a specific upgrade item, like I said before, to upgrade your weapons, or if you just want to specifically target that area, you can now tag that area, target it, and then go in for the kill and keep targeting that. So I really do enjoy that. It makes combat feel so much more immersive because it's like, I want to plan out what I want to do, plan out where he's going, I want to plan out what I want to keep attacking, what he's weak against. So all that returns, but it feels fresh, it feels engaging, it feels like I actually have a strategy going in here. I'm not just running guns blazing, doing whatever the hell I want, just like, it doesn't feel random, you know? It feels like I'm actually going in as Aloy, strategic. I know what I want to do, pinpointing what I'm taking down on this enemy. And when we come to the enemy and the gameplay of the different machines, you know, they have I counted over 40 different machines in this game, and each of those machines has like a variant. So you say you have like a Claw Strider. They have a Claw Strider, and then they have Apex Claw Strider, or Acid Claw Strider, or Fire Claw Strider. So there's 40 machines, and then from those 40 machines, there's variants of those machines. So you'll never really run into the repeating issue multiple times unless you're just hunting those machines. But this is a big step up from Zero Dawn with variety from the machines, and I love to see that the Frozen Wild DLC, those machines have made it into the game. The Frost Claws, I really did enjoy those machines. They were hard as hell. Even though I platinumed that game and then went into the Frozen Wilds, I was still getting beat up, but I love to see they included that in the game, and a bunch of new machines to go with the Forbidden West. It makes you feel like you are truly in a land that's forbidden, that these are machines that people haven't really encountered before, that you were really out here fighting for your life. This is something that you haven't prepared for, but you have to get prepared for. You know, I really do like that feel. Whether you're in the desert, or you're in the mountains, or you're in the jungle, you have to know what you're fighting for. You have to know what you're fighting and what you're fighting for, and the machines that will come with that territory. You know, it feels like you're always on edge. And if I have to suggest something about the gameplay, if you are a gamer and you want the complete experience for this game, I highly suggest you guys play on hard difficulty and nothing less than that. If you're a casual gamer and you don't like hard, go right ahead. But I'm saying, if you do want a little challenge, it does feel like this game was meant to be played on hard. Honestly, I can't take it off that, because I feel like it's just so rewarding and satisfying when you take down a giant Slitherfang or a Thunderjaw or something like that. It is so much rewarding because you know you did it on one of the hardest difficulties. Maybe not ultra hard, but hard in itself is still pretty challenging and still will give you a run for your money when it comes to that. So when we go back to gameplay itself, aside from the combat, you have a lot of things to do in this world. This is a very open and immersive world, whether it's the cauldrons making a return so you could override the machines, or you're exploring ruins, you're gathering relics, you're solving puzzles. I feel like the puzzles did have a little bit of an overhaul, which is better from Zero Dawn. This is more kind of challenging you, making you solve the puzzles, go into your codex, go into the pause menu, read what you've been scanning, read for the password, so it's not just kind of like mindless almost. The hunting grounds make a return, but they're a little bit harder from Zero Dawn because apparently this is where the hunting grounds originated, Forbidden West. They have new things called the arena, where you can fight off against machines to earn rewards, and then you could use the medals you get from the hunting grounds to buy and upgrade for new weapons. A lot of things return from Zero Dawn, with a lot of new things being added to just to explore out in the open worlds. A lot of things to collect, a lot of things to complete, tall necks to climb. So a lot of things to do when you're not doing the main missions. I'm gonna tell you guys right now, I was doing side missions for so long I didn't even touch the main quest for the longest time, and this was early on in the game. The side quests feel like missions of their own, and this is something so important that games need to focus on. This is why I put The Witcher 3 on such a high pedestal, because the side quests were written so amazing that they felt like their own main quest in itself. You know, it felt like you really were doing something, and sometimes these side quests will have effects on the main quest. So when you guys first start, don't just rush out the gates to go straight to the Forbidden West. Take your time, upgrade your gear, hunt machines, finish all the side quests. You will get a lot of cool gear. And so I'm saying everything feels immersive. It all circles back into one. From hunting the machines to upgrade your weapons, to using that weapons to upgrade something else, to use that in a race or use that in the hunting grounds or anything. Everything pays off and everything works well in tangent with each other. And this is what leads to an amazing open world game. And people are saying, oh, it's a Ubisoft open world. And what I've been hearing is that about Ubisoft open world is it open world and it's just empty. But this doesn't feel like that. It doesn't feel like you're climbing towers to scan an area and there's nothing in it. There are so many things for you to do. Some areas are going to be blocked off for you early on. You have to learn or get an equipment later, bring it back later to explore those areas. So you will have to come back then again, but it doesn't feel like I'm like annoyed, you know. It doesn't feel like I'm irritated that I have to backtrack a lot. It feels like I'm progressing and I'm actually leveling up and I'm getting stronger by the minute, and Aloy is getting stronger. So I really do enjoy that. Everything works well with each other. All the gameplay mechanics work well with each other. For completionists, this is a pretty easy platinum. Honestly, they have, I wouldn't say any trophies that are locked behind difficulty. I think you could platinum this game on any difficulty. They did introduce a new board game type thing called Machine Strike. I haven't dived too deep in that, but from what I do, it's not that extensive. It's pretty easy to grasp. I'm gonna have to do it for the platinum, but that is a nice touch too, like how The Witcher added Gwent and that took off in itself. Maybe this could take off, but who knows. I really do enjoy this game. I really do think this is one of the top games of the year, and this is an early game of the year contender. So what is my final rating for Horizon Forbidden West? I'm going to give this game a 9 out of 10. It is definitely a step up from Zero Dawn in every way possible. Don't let these haters tell you it is just an empty open world. This is one of the best games of the year, possibly top 3, honestly, if this keeps going. But again, like I said, 9 out of 10, and if you were thinking about picking it up, go out now, pick up this game. One of the best for this year. And I want to thank you guys so much for watching me. If you want to catch the shorter review of this brief, check out my TikTok, subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow my TikTok for daily just reviews, gaming takes, anything like that. And I will see you guys on the next review. Thank you so much, and remember, they call me Mythic.